Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping in here and joining us for yet another Dolmenwood. We're playing Old School Essentials and running through the Dolmenwood campaign setting. Today, we are very likely to be jumping into one of the only modules that is currently published for Dolmenwood, and that is Winter's Daughter, which is a pretty neat little adventure. I would say it's fairly unique, maybe, to the OSC kind of style of play. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of that. Today, I'm Alex. I am the GM for the session, and I am joined here today by Winston playing Silver the Elf, Isaac playing Friar Fitzpatrick, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, and Chris playing Thomas the Minstrel. If this is your first time joining us here on 20 Sides to Every Story, we always like to invite you to come and join our Discord community. We'll pop the link into the chat here. Or if you're watching this later after the live broadcast, there'll be a link in the description of the video or podcast that you're listening to. So join us there. We do a lot of the recruitment for the games that we play directly from our Discord server. Got a lot of activity going on, a lot of different GMs running games on the stream, off stream, and we also support a community campaign, which is a 5e campaign that is open to really anyone that enjoys spending time here, listening to the games and wants to get in a game themselves. So if you're interested in that, just jump in the Discord and introduce yourself, and we will get you squared away with the details on how to join that. The other big announcement that we have, I suppose, is we're counting down the days to our next big charity event, which is the 20 Sides Week of Giving. This is something, I guess it hasn't always been a week-long thing, but we have historically always done a spring fundraiser for the Center for Suicide Awareness. And we're just fortunate this year we've got so many people that want to be involved that we have enough games that we could do a whole week of fundraising activities for them. They're a really great organization that they do a lot of outreach about mental health and suicide awareness, and specifically they do a lot of outreach to gaming communities. And so that's part of why we love them and want to support them. So we've got a whole week of games, all of them non-5e. We're trying to showcase our love for things outside of the mainstream. And so we've got a whole schedule. If you join the Discord server, you can see the schedule of events we've got going there. I just got a couple of big boxes from the center, so we're going to have plenty of giveaways to do throughout the week. So it's going to be a great time. And that is... Oh, I should know this off the top of my head, but I believe it is May 9th through the 14th. So come and check us out for those events if you can. So to get into our game this morning, where we left off, in the previous session, the adventurers had stayed at a roadside inn called the Jaunty Horn. They were on their way to Lakeshorn. They were trying to see their friend Sir Silas out of the wood, get him safely on his way. And they stayed overnight, and in the morning of after they had stayed at the inn, they realized they had lost not one night but 2 nights. And so Sir Silas, maybe not such a surprise to the group that he had left the group, not wanting to endanger them in his quest to get back home. But maybe the unexpected disappearance was Sir Geoffrey having disappeared. And they had an inkling about where he might have gone, because the night prior, he had made a big deal about a voice that he had heard in the wood. He claimed it was the same voice of this elven maiden that he had been having dreams about. And so he seemed particularly stirred up by that. And so in the morning, the group surmised that maybe it would be in the southern wood where he had kind of indicated he had heard the voice. And so they had set out to try to find him. They had stomped around in the forest just south of the highway that runs from Drag to Lakeshorn. They found ring of dolmen stones that was attended to by a droon. They had a little bit of a tense conversation with him, but it seemed to de-escalate, and they kind of came to an understanding. I believe the droon kind of imparted you with, he would maybe share some knowledge or let you use the dolmen stones, whatever that means, if you were to help him with a fairy that had been harassing his daughter. And so you kind of left that conversation. That was kind of that. He kind of implored you go away for now until you deal with that. He didn't really want you hanging around the dolmen stones. And then you went and made camp. There was a big raucous party, bunch of unruly neighbors next to you in the form of some wood grew. The group decided that you maybe had enough complications for the day, and so he kind of like left them alone. And then in the morning, on the 13th day of Chysting, you headed to the west of the Dolmen Stones, where you were led to believe, from information you got from the Droon, that there are a number of kind of old tombs or barrows that are where a lot of goat folk are interred. But he suggested to you that there was one human among those burial grounds, one that belonged to a human knight from days, centuries past, named Sir Chide. And I believe he maybe, I don't exactly remember all the information you got about that. Do any of the players remember any additional details that the druid gave you about that tomb?
Yes. There was a stone circle. It was an opening, and there were iron. I don't know that the druid said anything about that, though.
Okay.
We saw that when we got there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he gave you a history lesson about it, anything about that, but
I don't think he did.
Maybe he didn't. So maybe that's all you know, is that this is the tomb of a human knight.
Oh.
But you did follow Sir Geoffrey's tracks in that direction. You had a pretty good sense that that is where he had gone. And after a whole day of searching, you did find the barrow that you believe that he had gone to. Particularly because as you traveled through the tangled forest to this burial mound, and just to like kind of remind you like what it looks like, it's a bunch of raised up earth that looks like it was artificially piled up, and then kind of artificially it's just flat topped. It probably rises up maybe like 10 feet or so above the kind of the forest floor, and then there's an opening there with like a rolling stone. The rolling stone is moved out of the way, and that's what you see. Like, there's some distance between your party coming into the scene and that barrow, because there's a bunch of stuff like in front of you. Particularly, you had mentioned this. There's a circle of stones here as well in front of the mound. And there's certain.
There was a tree with a bunch of iron things hanging.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a chill. There's a little bit of a chill in the air. Like the temperature drops just a little bit, maybe a little bit of a slight breeze that is hitting these iron owls that are hanging from these trees, and they kind of dangle and like clank against each other like some kind of eerie wind chime. So there's that. And I would say, Thomas, maybe all of you at this point, because you spent some time at the woodcutters camp, you probably heard them talk about owls, and that owls are a symbol of the Droon. I don't remember if that ever came up, but that is sort of the implication here. These rusty iron owls hanging from the trees. They look quite old, rusty, kind of rain streaked.
Alex, to get back to that, I'm sorry, I know maybe going back just slightly, the Sir Chide, I do have here that he was betrothed to the Cold Prince's daughter.
Yes.
There you go. Yep. And so maybe that was the comment that led you to coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, you can see lying amid some stones nearby. Looks like there is maybe some bones of an old animal or something like that. Just kind of piled up, kind of off the path that you're on, like in kind of like the heavier foliage in the where the tree line kind of gets real thick. And as you're looking at the entrance to the tomb, like you feel like it's dark inside that entranceway, but you just feel like you can sense that there's something moving about in that space, maybe emerging from the tomb.
Weapons out.
So I will remind everyone. As a reminder, fairy folk are often susceptible to iron and silver. So if you have anything of that sort, it might be good to get it ready. I know we don't have anything of that sort.
I have a silver sword, right?
Oh, you do, yeah.
Yes.
Aren't the symbols hanging in the tree? What are they made out of?
Iron. Are you suggesting we climb up, snatch one of those owls, and then bludgeon enemies to death with the owl statue?
Yes. We've done worse. And certainly use whatever we have to hand. That's what you do when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
How big are these owls? Are they like as big as your hand? Are they like as your head? Or like a
Like
torso?
1 foot.
Okay. Yeah, so you could definitely just crush someone's head with it. I can't touch iron, or I can, but it hurts me. So.
Well, I'm willing to climb up and grab one, or
I have to just wonder if they're there for more than decorative reasons. What do you think?
I would guess there's some sort of superstitious warding of sorts.
Actual warding.
or actual warding. Yes.
We've seen the power of the
Yeah.
drone.
Yeah.
and if the drone is warding against whatever's in there.
How many owls are there?
I believe it's 12 in total. Or sorry, 13.
Oh, that's an auspicious number. I was going to suggest we
Yeah.
snatch one, but
A baker's dozen.
if it were an arbitrary number such as 8, I would think
Yes.
one would be fine. But
Yeah.
if there's 13, that sounds intentional.
It rather does.
So, some discussion about what you're going to do, some of you readying weapons and such. And then, from behind you, a familiar presence makes themselves known.
Brother, if we're all here, who's coming out of the cave?
I just
Wait, what? You idiot! Are you okay?
I tell you, I'm glad to see all of you. I've got such a headache. It's been a hell of a night.
Night?
Yeah. It's been 3 days.
What? I just awoke from sleeping in the tavern, in the wood, and then I look up and I see all of you standing here looking into this cave. I mean, at least we're all together, but
I'm gonna.
You are 2 days from town.
And many events.
He just like reeks of alcohol
Jeez.
and campfire smoke.
I remember going to bed and dreaming, and seeing my elven maiden and her telling me of a ring that I with a moonstone in it, I believe. Hang on, let me find what it was actually. It's a bronze ring set with a moonstone. And I had to find it. And I remember in the dream just running into the wood and trying to find this place, but then quickly the dream changed. It became surreal. There were men with the faces of bats, and they had these things. It was like a tube with a funnel at the top, and they would fill it with grog. And then they would turn a switch and just I don't even know. I don't remember what happened. I have such a headache.
I told you we should have hung out with this wood crew.
You did in fact say we should investigate the sounds of merriment.
You never really could hang, brother.
I mean, tell me, brother, you did not put your mushrooms in the dinner last night, did you?
Oh no, you did this all.
Oh my lord! It was like a waking dream.
So as this conversation, this reunion is happening, I'm sort of thinking Silver maybe is less sentimental about the reunion of the brothers and all that. He might still be at least keeping a side eye in the tomb, and you can see something does emerge from the tomb. It is a very kind of thin-framed creature, wearing I guess decaying like burial rags is what it looks like, just hanging off of his frame. I think you've seen this type of creature before, though, because on top of its stump of its shoulders is a bronze jug. And it's kind of hunched back, and it's kind of like, it doesn't have a face, but you get the sense like it observes you all. And it seems to kind of skitter away, like behind the mound, like it sees you all there. It's like, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. He kind of skitters away.
And I'll just sort of like, everyone, there's one of those jug guys.
One of those pie stealers, right?
Potheads are everywhere.
And
they did like pies.
Another thing you would have noticed about him is he would have had this huge two-handed sword, like a claymore, like strapped to his back.
Was it made of iron?
Probably from this distance, it would have been hard to ascertain if it was. You would assume maybe it's like iron, but
after him or it.
I think Joffrey's gonna like instinctively like run to the front, kind of pull his weapon and push everybody back, but like just really belch as he's going by everybody and let out just like a stench, a nasty stench, and maybe not be so like be a little bit like the light in my eyes. Oh jeez.
All right, so just to give you like a sense of how far away you are, you're probably about like 150 feet from the entrance to that tomb. So that'd be about the distance between you and him if you're gonna pursue.
I'm mostly joking about chasing after him.
But there may be a reason to do something to keep him far away from us. Does anybody happen to have a pie?
So I'm gonna say Do you want to pursue or not? You don't have like he's already an incredible distance from you. So if you
Yeah, we'd have to really dash after him.
He's running away. I say let him go.
Yeah.
I would just say we might want to be prepared. He may be, the lookout.
A tomb guardian.
There may be more potheads behind. And we have no pies.
Does anybody know what the creature is? What their general disposition would be?
Silver. You know that it's like a fey creature. You probably heard of them, barrel bogies. And you guys got some of this information from Mercian, I think. But they generally hang out in areas where there may be dead or undead. I think she told you that they can sometimes be a warning that undead could be a presence. It seems to be where they kind of hang out.
I'll share that. Just to remind everyone too. So we know, unfortunately, that there'll be some undead in there, but I have to think that unless we go in and quell this rambunctious fairy, that our friend here, and I pointed the drunken, or I guess hungover maybe, Sir Geoffrey, and he will be plagued again. And unless we want to strap him down at night, I think we have to go in and just be prepared for undead.
So the other detail that probably Silver knows that you maybe didn't know prior is, so they are fairy, and even though they like hanging out in the mortal realm near barrows and burial grounds and such, their presence is usually not too far away from maybe an intersection where fairy and material meet.
Yeah, I think I'll just share. Maybe we'll see a visit from some other fairy. But I definitely think that this is a good sign that our culprit is here. Have we fought any undead besides the shadows?
Yeah, there was some zombies or something.
Yeah, we
killed a zombie. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we know we can hurt zombies.
There was some turning that happened.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a near thing.
By the way, Sir Geoffrey, Sir Silas is gone. He left. I thought you
no
would
doubt.
want to know that he left a note that once we're done with all of this, he left a nice note for everybody, but he decided to head back to the Empire on his own.
No doubt looking to not put us in danger.
Exactly.
A noble man.
So as this conversation is happening, can I take a quick look at the surrounding area just to see if there are any tracks or traces I can see that might give us an idea of what we would be walking into?
Yeah. As you're looking around, those bones that are laying in the forest, they're kind of like twitching a little bit, like they're moving. So it's just, as you're looking at it, what it appears to be is some kind of like a large stag that had maybe fallen or been killed and just left to rot and decay there until there was nothing left but the bones of the thing. But they're all basically still kind of arranged in the way, of a full-grown animal that had it's not like a bone pile that they were disassembled and buried up. Like, it's still kind of in the form of the creature, but they're kind of twitching. There's sort of like a weird, I guess like a green haze, almost like a cloud that kind of exists just above those bones. So you see that. You also do your tracking roll.
Okay. It's a D6.
I think is your tracking is your percentile, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it's 50% if I remember correctly.
Okay. Then I will do this. So, 39%.
Okay, so rolled under. The other thing that you see is not exactly like tracks, but there's sort of like churned up earth in a way that kind of suggests that there's some kind of burrowing creature in the vicinity, and you can see like maybe, let's say, 3 distinct tracks that kind of crisscross and such, and they all seem to lead from generally to the west of the standing stones, and they seem to continue up towards the tomb to the western side of the mound.
So there are 3 distinct types of tracks?
Not types, but three of the same.
3 of
type.
the same. And they're going into the west side of the tomb.
Yeah.
Alex, are we supposed to be able to see a foundry? Or not yet?
You should be able to, but if you can't...
Yeah, I have
And
no
being
sight.
Paused.
Yeah, I just see a token.
All right. I'm not gonna spend the time to futz with it. It's probably not worth it. You've got standing stones. There's a mound behind the standing stones.
So there's movement that shouldn't be happening over here. Can you see that? Silver, what does that mean? Anything to you?
That either we should run or start smashing.
Oh, okay. And in addition, there's clear evidence that at least something has gone around to the west side of this mound. At least 3 somethings. So they're ahead of us. For all I know, one of them belongs to you, Geoffrey.
I woke up right over there, so it's quite possible.
And those
But we need to-
burrowing signs, if you remember, that was what we found in the woods that first time that Geoffrey was lured.
Oh, that is true.
I think, right?
I think so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Smashing is what you suggest?
Or go inside the tomb and just move forward. I just twitching bones, that usually means undead, right?
The bones aren't like coming together or anything like that.
No.
Maybe the wards in the tree are keeping that from happening. So maybe our best bet is to go into... There are so many maybes. Somebody decide.
Onward! I'll just my big sword. Let's go.
You're making your way towards the tomb entrance.
Yeah, I think right. Yeah, follow the guy we saw kind of enter in.
So just to be clear, he did not enter the tomb. He exited the tomb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
For some reason, okay, gotcha.
So
he ran around the back of it, I think, right?
Yeah, out of eye shot. So you're not really sure. He went somewhere behind the mound.
Should we at least take a look behind there in case there's more of them or something, or just head in?
I'm down to check around behind.
Yeah.
All right.
Would not hurt.
Which way do you want to make your way around to the tomb? To the east or to the west? To the west is where you saw the burrowing trail.
Yes.
And to the east is the bones?
To the east is the way that the bogey would have gone.
Yeah, let's go that way.
Okay. So you will make your way around I don't know why I'm moving the token since you guys can't see. I guess for the audience's sake. But you would go around and you would see that the tree line comes pretty tight up around the mound. There's maybe about like a 15-foot lane of clearance alongside the edge of the barrow and the tree line. And so as you're making your way there, it kind of seems to go the entire way to like the direct back of the tomb. And so there's no sign. You don't see the bogey. Your best guess is he probably went into the thick of it. And so now you're directly opposite of the entrance at the backside. From here, you don't see any evidence of the trails, the burrow marks. How would you like to proceed?
Well, we checked it out. Maybe it was serendipity. He was leading us to the back entrance. We're at the back entrance, right?
There is no back entrance. It's just like more mound. But you're on the
I see.
You're on the opposite side of the entrance right now.
I see what you mean. Okay.
So the only place that you haven't explored is that western side.
Yeah, do we go around? Do we continue around that way back to the entrance, or do we going to double back the way we came to try to avoid the bones? All right, the question is, are we scared of the bones? Do we want to not disturb the bones because we think they're going to turn into skeletons?
I would not want to disturb the bones unless we really had to. I don't know that I can kill something that doesn't have flesh easily.
I am a little bit just interested in why they're rattling around, and if it's not that they're an undead creature, is there something over there that we should investigate? But I'm good with whatever.
Friar?
That's my only thought, is that they haven't come alive yet.
Friar?
So should we look at it at least? Maybe not disturb them, but disturb them with our eyes.
Well, I would hate for something to animate behind us. Maybe we take a closer look.
All right.
So
I can be convinced.
You want to head back around the eastern side of the mound, the way that you came, or you want to go back to west? Okay. So just to be clear, the bones aren't like right next to the mound. Like you're like where those bones were was like 150 feet away from the tomb. Like it was actually like pretty close to where you guys were standing. It was
okay.
Off in the
I thought
line.
it was more like on the other, like kind of like around the other side a little.
So we go around the west. We're gonna run into the burrowing stuff. Basically.
Yeah, that's where you saw
Gotcha.
the burrowing lines go.
Yeah, we'll go through the west. Might as well take a
Same
look around
logic.
the entire thing. Yeah.
Is the stone circle also to the west?
Stone circle would be south of the mound.
South of the mound, okay.
I would just say that if you are concerned that something in this burrowing is affecting me, just keep an eye on me. Don't let me run off now.
Can I shoot you in the leg?
No!
Darn.
Non-lethal damage.
Oh, I wouldn't try to kill
I need
you.
my legs.
I don't know. It's debatable after 3 days in the woods.
I'm telling you, you're over-exaggerating. It's just been a night.
So,
So you guys.
well, whatever I
Oh, go ahead.
was gonna say, whatever I do, I promise not to kill you.
Well, thank you.
So as you guys start to move, continuing to go counterclockwise around the mound, you will see, I guess maybe the end point of where some of these burrows kind of lead. There's like a really large burrow that seems to originate from the northwest, coming towards the mound, and there's this big hole in the earth right at kind of at the base of where the mound wall rises up. It's 2 feet wide, and it's just churned up earth. You could probably see like little worms and such kind of crawling around in the dirt. And it seems to go like down beneath, probably towards like the interior of the tomb.
Ugh.
Is there any way to tell if this was something dug like started here and went in, or if it was something that came from in and out.
It's a good question. I would say probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't look like this is recent, and is probably like a common, whatever is tunneling here. It comes and goes pretty frequently. Because you've even got like the things that Lillibeth, the trails that Lillibeth found, they kind of like feed into this larger tunnel.
And I think we can assume that it's an entrance into the mound, another entrance.
I think we did find the back door.
Question is, are we backdoor men and women?
I think you found.
I've lived 171 years, so.
And now maybe we should ask you, lover boy.
I say we go in.
I think that's our answer.
Now, just to be clear, if you're gonna go through this tunnel, like it's a 2 foot.
Are we gonna have to like yeah?
Very single file, and like you're spelunking if you go down there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm a rather
okay.
large man, so I do not think I would rather go in through the.
I'm
upper
pulling
entrance.
Apu out of the pack. And what is Apu's reaction?
Ooh, hole. He goes and he starts grabbing like worms and flinging them all over.
Apu, are you curious about the hole? What do you think? Not that he can tell me anything really, but
He kind of sniffs around.
yeah, he doesn't like it. Is that Geoffrey or the hole?
Takes a sniff at Geoffrey and then decides the hole's the better. Are you I guess serious? Do you want to direct him to go down the hole?
I'm going to ask him if he wants to go down the hole or if he will go down the hole.
He says no to the first, and then he shrugs at the second.
He doesn't seem really excited about going down the hole. So, and it would take us a long time to go through the hole, and I'd hate to have something happen to him at the other end, just out of loyalty. So, no. I would recommend we don't go down the hole. Apu, can you handle Geoffrey's stench? Okay, I'll try and keep the pack on.
Thank you so much for the follow, Crollo. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't done so already, jump into our Discord server. Pop the link there for you. So, sounds like the group is unanimous in not wanting to crawl down this hole right now. Did you still want to go and like take a look at those bones?
I'm deferring to Friar's judgment on
I would
this.
probably say if it's far enough away, then no.
Yeah, they're probably like maybe 80 feet away from you at this point. Like, and you're looking over there, and like you don't get any sense that it's not animating. It's just that they're moving, and they're moving kind of not exactly rhythmically, but kind of clattering about and kind of twitching, just very,
Wonder
very
if there's
subtly.
something in there.
That's my thought. It's just it's strange and it hasn't attacked us, so I don't feel like it's benevolent, but I don't know that it's malevolent, and I'm just curious.
I think we should investigate it because sounds like it might be a distraction to you if we don't.
I mean,
Well,
not
then-
necessarily. I'm good with whatever you decide. I just And if it is going to animate, I better it animate now than when we're coming out of what could possibly be an ordeal. Just I don't know. Just thoughts. I don't trust me. I'm not to be trusted.
So we got a really good question from the chat. This is session 13, but everyone's level 1. So we're not playing 5e. We're actually playing old school essentials, which is very much like the original. I guess not the original, but D&D basic expert rules, and so it's very, very slow progression. Most of your EXP is actually just based on like what treasure you get. So kills and such don't help as much. But we have had one character death, so you can go back and find that if you'd like. That was fun.
Yeah, we're not very good at collecting treasure, and that's the main mechanic for leveling up.
We make bad decisions when it comes to collecting treasure.
So level 5 is God mode. Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Listen, I have 5 hit points, and I'm level 5, and if I ever get to level 5, and I have like 30 hit points or 20 hit points, I'm gonna be a beast.
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys were thinking about going and just looking at the bones, or
I don't want to disturb them. I just want to
kind of look at them,
look around them. And...
Sure. How close would you say you want to get to them?
That sounds like a loaded DM question.
No, I want to get the details. Are you touching
it?
Are you sure?
Or jamming there?
I mean, I would say I would be probably, and I'm not very smart, so I would probably feel comfortable getting fairly close to them, just not touching them.
Like 30 feet or so?
Yeah, probably closer, maybe like 15 feet.
Okay.
5, yeah.
So,
and Alex, while this is being investigated, I'll be, 20, 30 feet away or whatever, keeping my eye on, the trees and stuff like that. And I did have in my notes that it looked like there was a storm brewing in the distance when we finished last session.
Yeah, there was kind of like a thundery, like pre-storm kind of day. And I'm going to say it's still that way. Like at any moment, it could be downpouring rain.
Right. I'll keep my eye on all of that.
So go ahead.
I'm also being alert to my surroundings, but not necessarily keeping an eye out for any specific thing.
Sounds good.
Alex, would I be able to just throw up a turn against the bones, or?
Yeah. I mean, you pull out your holy symbol and you're uttering a prayer to the one true God.
Uh-huh.
Does it take a spell slot, or can you just do that?
It's just I think he said per encounter, so.
Got it.
So you do that. You don't see, nothing visibly happens as you do it.
Okay.
Sir Geoffrey, you get up there and you're looking at these bones, and the thing that you notice is that they seem to be coated in something. There's a little bit of a green substance that seems to be kind of clinging to some of the bones. And it is from that substance that you kind of see the green haze. Almost seems like a visible vapor that you see kind of rising up and pooling in this cloud above the bones. And
brother, look at this. Very strange.
The trails that Lillibeth had initially picked up on, they come real close to where this body is. You can almost see little I guess emergent earth that kind of was piled on top of the grass and whatnot in the area, and it seems like whatever it was maybe burrowed up right here and maybe had some kind of interaction with this body or these bones.
Have you ever seen a substance like this?
No.
This purple, it seems to be what is causing this animation of the bones. The stuff is coming off of it, going into this haze. Very strange.
Alex, is this something that I might have experienced? Is it give a fae vibe to it, or a fairy vibe?
Not explicitly, no. Like, there's no like, you can't rule it out, but
Okay. You should poke it with a stick.
It's always a good.
Geoffrey pokes it with a stick.
like the specifically like the goo, or just the bones in general.
I think Geoffrey would assume to poke the bones and see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm looking right at the chat too. As that happens.
Sith Lord Dave just redeemed Wandering Encounter. So you're poking
Somebody redeem like a save a life here too, okay?
So you poke at the bones.
Yeah, with a stick.
You know, they move like you maybe would expect. You're kind of poking and shifting them around and whatnot. And then, like, suddenly from around you, you feel like a low tremor as these worms kind of burst up, 3 in total. And they kind of look like they've got like mouths of like a lamprey. And just like their mouths like open up and it's just this ring of teeth inside. And they're kind of flat worms, like almost like a leech kind of body, but they're 4 feet long as they're emerging up and like kind of coming down at an angle to like kind of chomp at you.
That wasn't me. That was a coincidence.
It looks like Dave is trying to make it up to you by buying you some rerolls. Oh, no. Okay, he bought the DM a reroll, and then he bought everyone a reroll. So,
okay.
All right.
All right.
It's just...
He's just trying to get some action going.
Yeah.
He wants to see the 4 hit point characters in
He's
action.
an agent of AI.
All
That's why
right.
he's Sith Lord, Dave.
Oh, now what is happening? Another DM reroll. Okay.
I
think I know whose side he's on.
Let's get them all out of the way early.
Especially since we're complaining.
Yes.
Let's see.
We have as many hit points as a group as 1 5th edition first level character.
So we need to spread our damage evenly.
So the first thing I got to do is determine whether you're surprised by this.
Unless I have a.
And the next thing we have
I
to
feel like
determine
some of
is,
us
are we going to run away?
We're not surprised.
You're not surprised. So.
Yeah, we had to be expecting it with all these burrows, right?
I mean, we were as alert as we could possibly be.
Why would you tell him to grab a stick and poke it?
I was trying to tell a joke.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me. These worms have been all around. Come on now. Unrelated.
I am a fairy, I have to say.
So
we all have an element of trickster.
Next thing we have to do, obviously, Geoffrey, I'm going to say these things are right on top of you.
Yeah.
We'll say they're like 15 feet from you.
Okay.
Kind of in all directions. The rest of you, I was going to say you're 30 feet away, but does somebody want to be further back than that?
I would want to be a little closer.
A little closer.
I would want to be a little further. It would be normal since I use ranged weapons.
Yeah, I think I had said I was like 30 or 40 feet back.
All right.
Keeping an eye on everything. So
Not going to get too caught up in the details on distance, but basically in my mind's eye then, you got Geoffrey is the closest to the worms. Then you got Silver, maybe some feet back. And then there's like a back row of Thomas and the Friar, and then Lillibeth maybe a little bit further back.
Yes.
So, who would you like to be rolling your initiative?
It's only right that it be Geoffrey.
Geoffrey.
Yes.
All right, roll me a d6.
All right. A 5.
I also had a 5. Let's re-roll. I have a 2.
4.
All right, so it's your action first.
We need to declare spells and stuff before we do the initiative. We messed up. Anyone have spells they were going to do? Okay.
Or retreat.
I mean, that's a fair thing to do. Too late now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. We might. It's an option.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, then I'm going to move up. Oh, we're doing movement, right?
We are doing movement. So Silver's moving up. Geoffrey, any movement?
If let me ask you, the way that it's arranged, if Silver is moving up and it looks like he's moving to one, does it look like I can move to, like, tactically flank one or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be no advantage, you know, on dice or anything. Just because he's a knight, he would probably move to do something like that.
If one of you is flanking, I would give that person a +2. Yes.
Nice.
Don't feel pressured. If it's the rules, it's the rules.
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
Cool. I'll take it.
So the two of you are kind of flanking, like kind of tag teamed on one of them. Any movement from Lillibeth?
No, other than to get into position to
Hey.
shoot.
Any movement from Friar?
No, not at this time. I think he's getting ready to attack.
And any movement from Thomas?
I will be moving up as well. So
Sounds
I
good.
think
Let's see. Ranged. We'll start with Lillibeth.
Okay.
So you got 3 of these worms. One of them has got 2 folks in melee there.
Okay, so I'm going to choose one of the non-flanked worms. And, oops. 10, 11.
11.
A light.
That one will miss.
Okay.
Other ranged.
Friar would sling a stone with a 4. I'm assuming he misses.
That one will miss. Right. Melee. So, I guess I'll let you guys choose who wants to gain the benefit from the flank.
Let's give that to Geoffrey. As he's up in there.
Sounds good. So Silver's making it to attack.
Sorry.
All right, here comes my attack, and it is a 2.
That
I
one
miss.
will miss. Joffrey, you get +2
It will
bonus.
be an 11 with the +2 bonus.
That will miss.
Oh wait, I got a plus from my strength, so it would be a 12. Does that make a difference?
It does make a difference. That hits.
Oh baby!
Look at that. Our flanking was the right choice.
Yeah. All right, I'm attacking. I'm using my mace because I've kind of been favoring that since I lost my Darksteel sword. That's 6.
All right, you hack like right through this worm, and there's that green substance that you saw on the skeleton is the thing that kind of like just sprays out from this thing as you hack through it. And you can see it. It kind of superficially, like maybe gets on some of your clothes and your armor, but you can see a little bit of like an acidic kind of reaction to it. And then it becomes.
As I notice that, I'll probably shout it kind of out as I'm bashing, like, "Watch out! It's acidic!"
So 2 of these worms kind of burrow. They get up out of their tunnels and they come right for Silver and they come right for Joffrey. So you're gonna get attacks on the 2 of you. I'll use these dice that have the skulls in the middle. That seems like a good choice.
Oh God, I'm ordering a new set of dice, by the way.
All right, +1. So this one is Silver. It hits. I won't patronize you with asking whether that hits. Right. So the bite. So the teeth deal 3 points of damage to you.
Okay.
There's an and. As it does so, there's sort of that green slime. You get like the Nickelodeon kind of thing happening to your armor, and it's like eating at your plate. You're wearing plate, right?
No. Yeah.
The other one is attacking Joffrey, and that is a 14, which I think misses you.
My AC is a 16.
Yeah. So you managed to like maybe You got a shield in hand,
I do.
so you gotta like kind of hit it aside as it's trying to bite down on you. So initiative roll.
All right. D6, right? A 4.
I rolled a 3, so it's characters first. Any movement from anybody?
Was the worm killed that Geoffrey hit?
Yeah. So there's 2 worms
Okay.
right now, and then one in melee with each of you.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
will-
so that's fine.
I will be finishing movement to get up to attack. So
Okay.
I don't know if I can attack this round or.
Yeah. You'll be able to get up close enough. Is there a particular one that you want to hit?
I was moving towards Geoffrey to begin with, so.
That sounds good.
I'll probably move to flank the next one with whoever's moving to attack the next, just kind of instinctively using my battle tactics.
Yeah, you got Thomas coming towards you, so the 2 of you could have flanking on that one. And I think this time it just makes sense that Thomas will be the one that gets the flanking bonus because of the situation. So we'll go to ranged. We'll start with Lillibeth.
10.
And how far away did you say you wanted to be? I'm only asking because of the range bonus that you potentially would have.
I was behind Thomas, so about 10, 15 feet behind Thomas.
So maybe like
About
45.
Yep.
Do you know what the range of your bow is?
It was 120.
So they got 3 sets of range. And so if you're in the close range, you get a +1 bonus.
Okay, let me see. Sorry, I'm having to look this all up in the equipment chart.
So short bow, right? So you would be
Short
in the
bow.
close range because it's 5 feet to 50 feet. So there's a +1 from that.
Oh, okay. So then it would be 11.
An 11 will miss.
Yes.
Friar, ranged.
Yes, I will be doing that as well. And now that I have those numbers up, I've been shortcutting, kind of shorting myself for that extra. Ooh, 15 to hit.
That'll hit. Which
All
one
right.
were you aiming at?
I was going after the. I'm gonna say that we're gonna go after the one with silver.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. Rock hits the side of the thing's head, and like the pointy piece of like the stone kind of like rips into its flesh, and there's like ooze kind of pussing out of the wound, but it is still alive.
Oh.
That will bring us to our melee fighters. Let's start with Silver.
All right, here we go. That will be 11.
An 11 will miss.
We have rerolls.
Do we? I'm
Yes.
using reroll.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Come on, dice. Be good. Stop rolling bad. 14.
14 hits.
All right, now let's see. The damage will betray me. It did. You fucking piece of shit. It's 2 damage.
Well, that's okay. The bludgeoning
Sorry,
of
kids.
the
Sorry, kids.
Sorry.
Fucking piece of shit.
To be fair, it rolled a 1, and then I have a +1, so
that's
low as
okay
possible.
because the Friar softened him up for you as the stone
right.
hit the worm. It was momentarily dazed. You took the opportunity to kind of slash at it and behead the creature. And you take 1 point of acid damage from the residual acid that's on your armor. It is eaten through like little holes. It doesn't damage the armor
Okay.
the integrity of the armor such that you lose AC, but it has poured through. There's little holes that are like it's seeped into where your clothes are underneath and kind of starting to burn at your flesh.
Got it. So I get the impression I need to like strip out.
Yeah, probably like wash, clean. If your character had been present during the tower escapades, it'd give you a flashback to what was going on with Lillibeth.
I'm shaking a little bit.
So that'll move us on over to the other worm that is the one that's still up. And why don't we go with Sir Geoffrey to start?
All right. Yeah, that I rolled a 20 plus that's a 21, so I think I hit.
You roll a natural 20?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So the way I always did it was it's just you max the damage.
Oh,
so what's
cool.
the
So it'll be a
total you
7.
could have?
A 6-sided die plus my
Plus
modifiers.
1. Okay. So just like you like behead this one right as Thomas was like getting up ready to like sneakily stab it or whatever. So
yeah, I'm just gonna like hit it with my mace and behead it with my mace. That's how hard I hit it.
Oh yeah, your mace. So, yeah, just bludgeon it.
His head goes flying off like a baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot you don't have your sword.
I have a short sword, but I don't like the weight of it. You know, I like my dark steel sword, so I'm only using it if needed. I've been favoring the mace kind of since then.
Yeah. All right, so we're out of that combat. You have dealt with the worm tongues.
I will strip my clothing.
And yeah, no problem. You managed to wash and clean that away.
Yeah, I will aid Silver in getting his armor off quickly.
Yeah, just like downside a plate.
So we'll advance time a couple of rounds. Turn for the combat, and then probably like dealing with the cleaning and such.
So it seemed like perhaps there is a worm like this that is much larger that made that hole.
Could be.
That's
either that or they all just got together and burrowed as a team.
That could be too. You're not entirely sure.
I do know one thing for sure. It was not me touching the bones that did that. It was a coincidence. And I'm going to poke the bones again.
I was going to say, poke it again and see what happens.
I am. That's what Geoffrey would do.
So they're still rattling about, even like as you're like poking them, but it seems like probably at this point, what it seems like is the ones that are coated in that ooze are the ones that are kind of creating the motion.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you're observing it a bit as, Silver's getting their armor off and such. And you're kind of seeing like there's some kind of interaction happening where like the coating of that ooze seems to be kind of receding. And it almost gives you the sense that it's like evaporating off of the body.
Hence the cloud above it.
When I stripped off my clothing, was it like I think I would have stripped it off before I cleaned it, just kind of look and see if it's doing something similar. Like, is it like agitating? Like, is the ooze from the worms the same ooze on the bones, basically?
I'm gonna say no, because the stuff on the bones doesn't seem to be dissolving the bones.
Okay.
It's like there's like a different effect.
Got it.
And I see that Ryan stepped away, but there's like another thing that I think he's gonna notice. You had a stick, right, that you were poking at the slime with?
Oh yeah. Is it floating? To get on it?
The stone or the stick kind of feels a little bit lightless, like the tip where that ooze is on the stick. It's almost like kind of levitating a little bit. Very, very subtly.
Do we have like a jar or anything? A
I have-
container of any sort?
Let me
I
check
have-
and see what I have.
I have
I
some
don't.
vials.
I've got a bottle of wine that we.
I have a water skin. Yeah. Do
I
we
have a
want to?
water skin.
Do we want to collect some of this just in case, or do we? Geoffrey doesn't always think correctly, so you know. You can smack him if collecting this is a bad idea.
Let's try it.
May not hurt. I do have a couple of empty vials that I had put Wayman dust in one of them, but I had a couple other ones.
This is the.
Pour that out.
Like a
now.
spell.
yeah.
We could put it on the Wayman dust and see what happens.
It's gonna bring it back to life.
Yeah.
So you're collecting up some of this ooze.
I think so.
Okay. And how are you getting it into your receptacle?
I think I'm gonna sort of. He's got these vials, right? So I will try to swoop it through the floating
Okay.
mist and see if it collects it. I will probably not I don't know. Try not to get too much of it on my hands or anything like that. But I'm not like wearing clean room gloves or anything. But I'm trying to be careful not to get it on there and just try to collect it from maybe the cloud above it first, if that's possible.
Yeah, you probably can't get anything really too substantive there. It's kind of vaporous up there. But you can kind of scrape and scoop
against the bones. Yeah,
and there's probably no way to do this entirely without it contacting your flesh a little bit. And what you'll notice that it does have a little bit of an acidic component to it. But it doesn't seem as strong as what was on silver.
So no damage
you're
or
not
anything
taking
like
damage, but it's like your hand gets a little raw,
ow.
a little irritated. Yeah.
Brother, check this out. It's a little.
Why do
any
you know?
salves or any kind of cream or anything?
I do not have. No, I left that back.
Only bringing the mushrooms, of course.
Right.
I understand.
No, we don't have any of that here.
But yeah, I'll just kind of point that out to the group. It's irritating, but it does seem to make things wobble, and it wants to float in the air. I don't know. I'm interested. We have a vial of it now.
Yep.
Does the vial want to do anything, or is it?
Yeah, is the vial like?
Yeah, maybe slightly. It's not like zipping up like hundreds of feet up into the air like a balloon, but if you kind of set it down on the forest floor, maybe it's like floating 5-6 inches off the ground.
Like a deflated. Balloon.
Yeah.
Thomas, do you want to carry this, or do you want me to? I understand if you are uncomfortable.
I don't have a problem with you carrying it. I will continue carrying Waymond.
Well, that's what I was saying. I didn't know if you wanted to keep it with your set, or if you wanted me to be the one to carry it.
I can.
Curiosities.
Yeah, I can put it back in the little container thing or whatever that I have for the.
Cool.
We've got green ooze and Waymond.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the list.
That's right.
Keep adding.
Yes.
Some really clever
purple,
party.
right? This ooze is purple, right? The mist was purple, or is it green?
It's green.
Okay,
Green.
gotcha.
I was just gonna say, some really clever party would find some way to abuse this property to do something really great. We're just gonna carry it around and have it.
I mean, that's why I got it, just in case we could abuse it at some point in time.
Right.
If we
Well,
thought
I'm
of
gonna
a good
drink
way.
it and float up and grab this thing and.
It'll become important 20 sessions from now.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
remember
right.
that they have it.
Well,
Dump it on the lever and it is easier to turn or something.
I'm
would
not gonna
seem-
lie that Geoffrey did consider being like, does anybody want to try drinking it?
I'm
Oh, God.
I'm thinking it could be used if we give it to our brother, sister,
They can at least
wizard
maybe
came-
tell us what it is.
Tell us what it is and make potions out of it or something. I mean, it's probably some ingredient to something.
Maybe they'll pay us.
Or
Yeah.
it'll at least add flavor to their tea.
Yes.
Or make my brother's mushrooms more effective.
Yes.
I'm
Uh-huh.
trying really hard to resist putting it on my tongue. Like I really want to see what happens.
Make some fizzy lifting drinks, right? From Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what is the group thinking they want to do next?
Well, I'm beat to shit. I'm fine continuing on, but
Did you get hit? I thought you just took the one from the
was a
from
nice one,
previous. There was some previous stuff going on.
yeah, I got it. Well, I got a hit, and then I got the poison. So I don't know if it's too metagamey, but I feel very close to not being alive anymore.
Well, I guess then our options are either.
Oh, but we
You have to
wait.
rest, right? You don't have any
Well,
potion.
we can keep going. I guess it's more. It's going to be really clear that
Friar, do you want to check your apothecary supplies? Because I believe we had at least one effective guard against poison, and I know we've found other.
I have an ostrich
Fungi.
potion for sure, but I don't know that that'll get him any hit points.
I don't know if the against poison might help.
There's no poison here, just to be
Yeah.
clear. Yeah.
It's acid.
it's like
Okay.
burning.
He's
Yeah.
just hurt. I believe he's heard in saying whether or not we rest or my character would heal him.
Now,
And the
just
thing is that
just
if-
keep in mind, resting is not a guaranteed.
Exactly.
Also, keep in mind that your healing has a chance of failure because I don't believe in your god.
Yeah. So and then just that.
There you go.
I'm one and done.
Sounds like we need
So,
a
you're one and
convert
done.
here.
But I
Perhaps
also
you.
believe we found something. A mancy horn? Red cap mushroom?
I think
Did
he
we
had.
use
I
that?
think he did
I
have
have
a mushroom. Somebody had a
I have a
mushroom.
green mushroom, which I'm calling a 1-up mushroom, but I don't think we know that it's necessarily a 1-up mushroom. We just know it's a green mushroom.
We did identify the
Per-
mancy horn, though.
I may suggest just rubbing some dirt on it. Let's move on.
Sorry. Or
Who
spit.
has
Spit
the?
always
There's a
works.
mancy. What is a mancy horn? And does somebody have that? I don't have it on
We
the
did
in the
find it.
cart.
We
Maybe that was a
found it.
session I wasn't here.
Yes. And I wrote it down as mancy horn, but that doesn't mean that's what it's really called.
Let's see.
Does that do any healing? Do we know what it does? Because if it does do healing, I say we give it
Yeah,
to
we use it. Huh?
our homeboy. Yeah, to silver upon his
it's a-
brow.
Floppy red mushroom red cap. Warm spiced apple taste.
I think that it just like
Season's food.
it was food. Yeah. The spicy apple taste was just food. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we got last time.
I wrote down
Okay.
jaunty horn.
Jaunty.
Jaunty horn.
I have Mancy horn.
Do you?
Some kind of a horn.
I think
it was black juice. I
we
believe
need to
that
make
it was.
Alex's mic more clear.
Yeah, no, it was 5. We just have 5 instances of food. That's what it was. Was rations.
That's what it was. 5
Yeah.
instances
Yeah.
of food. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm more than willing to keep going as I'm like pulling on my like tattered shirt and
I don't think
buckling up. So, and I guess how comfortable? I mean, you know, I'll just put it
You
this way.
should stay back in any
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah, I'll put away my sword and say, I don't think I can take even mechanically even one more hit. I think I'm at.
I'm not ready to lose another companion.
Death's
We
door.
don't
I mean,
know
yeah.
about you.
Should we consider some healing at this point then? If it's just one hit, because I would, if we were gonna go into a thing, a dungeon, whatever it is, I would say, oh, if he needs it, we'll heal him. But he's already at the point where he needs it.
It's flashing red.
It's risk.
Yeah.
I feel like Isaac only heals me. I think that's the rhythm that we've established. I would say 90% of the healing spells have gone to my
That's
character.
Yeah, I
clearly
think-
not the case. I'm alive at this point.
That's true. That's right. He's healed you one time.
Joffrey's given the old elbow to his brother, like, don't you think maybe we should?
Yeah, I think Friar would. I mean, he would be like, well, yes, if we don't feel like we want to try to rest here, then I assume I just know that.
I guess that is a good question. Do we want to just make camp here and give it that attempt? Go hunt for the food, do all that stuff, and see if we can heal him.
Well, hunting for the food would take us another whole day. We have some leftover rations, so I think we're good.
Yes.
Well,
the
as far
question-
as doing the
It's just
camping
so
procedures,
much.
I meant, you know.
Yeah.
With the storm likely brewing, it might be a good idea for us to at least enter this barrow rather than be out in the elements.
Little sprinkles. You're feeling
Uh-huh.
that like precursor rain is.
Well, if we're
I'm good
stepping
with-
in,
I'm good
I
with
mean-
either option. Yeah. Whether we
Well,
heal or we camp, I'm
no-
good with the party's decision.
Nothing worse than all of your foodstuffs and everything getting water soaked when you're out in
course.
the middle of nowhere.
unless it's soup.
Unless unless
More.
it's soup.
More
That
rations.
is
now.
correct.
Okay, we'll make it difficult camping.
I
night.
think maybe the friar might suggest we step in, we try to secure the entrance, and maybe we'll rest there. But he will, before we step in, he will attempt to heal Silver.
All right, I'll hold your hand and I'm gonna try to believe. Oh God, I want to believe.
No,
So we have to roll a d6.
don't worry, he believes in you.
Yes, and I will. While he does that, I will sing some hymn that to try
I'll
to
give you.
help out.
I'll pass you one of the prayer cards
Okay.
about distrusting the Fae. Yeah, that's something like that. You know,
Right.
one of the saints. that
Perfect.
fought the
And I'll
Fae.
just read it like deadpan. So it's a d6. On a 1 or 2, the spell fails.
All right.
Okay.
So you're
So do
rolling
you
that.
want me to roll the d6 or do you want to roll the d6?
You can roll that one.
All right.
We haven't had luck with Winston. I was going to say maybe Isaac should roll this.
We got it.
2.
Reroll.
No!
You got rerolls. You got 4 rerolls.
Reroll!
All right.
Reroll
Reroll.
that, please.
How many rerolls do we have? I'm feeling like I'm
You have
burning.
4,
Four.
and
No,
now
no.
you have 3.
We're good.
6. Yay.
Right.
Okay,
Hey.
it works.
All right. So I would say a prayer to I mean, at this point I think I know it. It's Saint Lillibeth. And and like I said, everyone maybe in the party at this point would be able to like recite it. I've said it so many times that at least maybe you get some of it as I kind of chorus it along as we
Rama lama ding dong.
I'm a ding dong. That's
So-
exactly how it goes. Saint Lillibeth.
Saint
Rama
Lillibeth
lama ding dong.
of the sugared breath.
5 points.
Oh.
5 points. I'm feeling
I'm back.
as I. Yep. I told you he believes in you.
All right.
Well, I appreciate this Lillibeth at least.
So, it's going to be dark in here. Light source that you will be using.
Okay, I have 1 oil flask that has 2 hours left in it and a lantern. And what else do we have? Torches. I have 16
also-
torches that were in the cart. I don't think we have our cart with us though.
But I believe we brought some torches with us.
I've also got a lantern with 2 flasks of oil and 20 rounds worth of oil. Or
I
20.
think the only light I
20
have.
turns.
Why don't we use up the oil that I have the 2 hours first? Because that's all I
Okay.
got. We'll go from there.
All right.
Mhm.
So, lantern that is being held by whom?
I would like. Are we gonna rest or are we entering?
I think you're entering with the potential of resting.
Yes.
You want to get out of the weather, right?
Yeah, I think I would prefer, if we don't know if anything's in there, to hold my mace and my shield if somebody else wants to hold the lantern. But if you guys want me to hold the lantern and my sword and be up front, I'm willing.
I think we should all have as much protection as possible.
I'll hold the lantern.
Okay, Friar's got the lantern.
I'll stand in front of him where he's shining it with my shield and my mace out.
Yeah, you will.
I got you, brother.
Yeah, you
I
will.
have whole lives. It will not
What
end.
did you? What were you thinking? Tell me. He's like, as he gets closer. What's what is wrong with you? We're here because of you.
No, it was a dream.
Tell me, was she calling you Sir Chide?
Was she? In the dream?
I don't think she's ever said
In
your name
the dreams?
dream.
Okay. No, she's not in love with Sir Chide. She's in love with me. I am amazing. She tells me such. See, you all don't say nice things to me. She says nice things to me.
So, lantern in hand, the group is entering the tomb. Beyond the entranceway, there is a set of stairs that leads down. There's definitely this like dank, stifling air. You could see on the stone walls in the stairs themselves, there's just sort of this clinging wet on the interior. As you're making your way down, you step into... Now, do you guys have vision on this map? This one you should.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Yes.
And you step into this this first chamber, and you can see that there are plinths in the four corners of the room that have... It might be kind of hard to see what they are, but definitely objects that are resting on the plinths, but they kind of have this like fuzzy mold that's kind of coating each of them. And it's just heavy kind of moisture in here. Just wet. Not pooling water or anything, but just like kind of seeping moisture from the dirt and earth, it would seem. There is a heavy, damp stone door straight in front of you that seems to have maybe some kind of inscription and small inscription on the front. And then there are two exits out of this chamber that are just archways to the east and to the west. And the floor here is kind of dirty, like dust and moisture is kind of mixed and kind of created sort of a grime on the floor.
So we have 4 entrances to this room. Maybe not the best place to rest. Do we want to try to find a more defensible position?
How many of us are there? We have 4 that can, well, at least 3 of us.
If we're all on guard, who can rest?
Mm-hmm.
I do wish to go up and look at the carvings or the writings around that door. See if I can.
Yeah. It's in Old Woldish, and it says, "The most dear."
Most dear. I would say that out loud as I read it.
Or any, I don't have what languages I know. I didn't get that deep on my sheet, but are any of us familiar? Are there any like sayings like "he with the most deer wins the game" or anything like that? Or
Well, if I'm recalling, as we've had some time to think about it and recover from our reunion with Sir Geoffrey, I do believe that we know from the Droon that we came here to find the knight and the Droon's daughter were forbidden to love each other. And who else could be most dear? It's either her or him, I think.
Funny, I was interpreting it as the most dear, like the animal, but I see
How is it
my
spelled?
It is
mistake.
DEAR. It's like an endearing deer.
I can read Old Woldish
See?
from across the room.
See, I'm bad with my Woldish.
It's Old Woldish, and that makes I can understand the confusion.
What are your alignments?
Neutral.
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 I'm lawful.
Lawful.
No wonder we're such a party.
Thought we might all be neutral for a second, so I'm glad there's some lawful in there.
I don't have a follow up to that. I was just curious.
Well, to me, if this is a tomb and it says the most dear, I think the body might be that way, but I don't know for sure.
I have to say, it seems too simple.
Yes.
That if we just walk in, open the door, and there it is, I have to suspect.
Well, there. What are you looking for? Because I'm looking for a ring with a moonstone.
I'm looking for a place to rest. Tonight.
True. I'm looking for a ferry that we can knock about and drive back home to relieve you and potentially this Droon's child.
This door, is it wooden, stone?
Stone.
It is stone. Okay.
It looks like we would have to like push it in to enter, or is there like a handle, a latch thing?
So how do you protect your most dear? I certainly don't leave the door open for it. Anything to come in and take a look.
You think trapped?
Probably not the best place to rest through that door, then.
So I would say the door, there's no handle or anything. It's the kind of thing that you probably have to like wedge like a crowbar or a dagger or something and kind of crack open. Like it's not really meant for coming and going.
It's like it's a sarcophagus type thing.
Yes. Kind of ornate looking, like this is
like a mausoleum door.
Yes.
Well, I think for the moment, let's check elsewhere. We can always come back to this, but we've got two open doorways. The east and west.
Geoffrey flips a coin, and he says, "Heads for left, tails for right." And it's tails.
And that was left?
Right.
Right. Okay. I'm going to advance one round, so a turn passes.
We are now moving right in a...
If you guys are good with that, he's just, being two-faced here, I guess. But
yeah, no, as good as any.
All right. So if I'm this direction, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As long as nothing bad's there.
Oh.
If something bad's there, it's my fault. It always is.
Well,
of course.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. So you move into this chamber, and I guess what you would see is that right around the corner here, there is a staircase that leads down. From your vantage point, you can't yet see what's down those stairs, but you get the sense that that is a passageway that descends. There's another passageway up here that just heads north, on the same floor, essentially, out of this circular chamber. And there is an empty stone plinth in the corner here. Behind the stone plinth, like it looks like there maybe was a statue or something that was situated on this thing at one point. It's only 1 foot high, so the plinth itself isn't the ornamental thing. It looks like there was probably a statue or something there but it is empty. And you can see heavy grooves on the floor as if something had been dragged away, which further leads to this idea that there had been something here and someone took it or moved it elsewhere, maybe.
Are these lines like showing kind of where it's been dragged?
Yes, yep. It would seem right back into the entranceway where you came from. The reason you wouldn't have seen any grooves or scratches there is because of the filth on the floor in that previous room. Behind the plinth, in the corner of the room, right behind it, there is a silver mirror. It's beautiful, beautifully wrought. It has kind of engraved in the frame is silver, and it's sort of depicting unicorns, and there's like holy symbology that the Friar would identify as like imagery of the one true God, but it's weird because it's got unicorns and such kind of roped in with it. But it is, unlike other things in the room, it is not collected moisture. It doesn't look dirty at all. It's very clean and pristine.
Oh, odd. I think just so I'm clear, the mirror is like over here. Is that where that is?
Yeah, that little, it almost looks like a door or something.
I might step up and take a look. Just maybe look at myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a save versus paralysis.
Oh, here we go. All right, paralysis. I want to roll above this number. Oh, 16. Sweet. I am okay.
So kind of a little bit of a funny feeling as you go over there, but then you're looking in the mirror and you see your reflection. It's not like a funhouse mirror, really, but there's maybe a little bit of a glow to you. Almost like your skin is a little luminescent, or there's like kind of a halo kind of effect around your body in the mirror.
Well, wow.
Hey, Alex, I would like to maneuver myself around and listen at these two other entranceways.
Okay.
That would be what I'll be doing, and
So you go over to the archway where the tunnel descends, and you can see that it's sort of like this tree branch kind of imagery carved into the stone relief of the right before the stairs that lead down. Maybe you hear kind of the dripping of water down below. Do you peek down the stairs as you go over to listen?
Oh yeah, I mean I'll peek down and do my listening checks or whatever.
You probably don't have to do any checks necessarily to like see or hear any of this stuff. It's pretty apparent. The interesting thing that you see when you look down there is that there are dozens upon dozens of floating candles that kind of create like it's almost like a curtain of candles at the base of the stairs. There's no doorway or anything, but it's just sort of like your vision is a little bit of obscured about what might be beyond, just because there's like this wall of candles that are just floating like a curtain.
Okay. That's peculiar.
Alex, 2 questions. 1, how many legs are on the unicorns?
4.
Good.
Good question.
The right number.
The right number.
It's a good question. They're not standing upright, running around, huh?
Yeah, then glad it's not 9. That'd be the scary number.
13.
13 legs. I mean, the second follow-up question is there anything about so looking at the unicorn iconography, is it like as a fairy, do I get the impression that this is like a human's expectation, like it's almost like a fantasy, or do I get the impression that maybe there is like a fairy, like it's true to being fairy, that maybe there is actually like almost like a fairy one true God thing connecting?
That's a good question. I would say it's like the fairy aspects of it are accurate, but it is still kind of like probably like feels like a little tacky to you to see these, you know what I mean? Like like it's like kind of like it disturbs your sense of like design and style and such, because these two things just in your mind and your sensibilities doesn't fit. I mean, probably the same to the Friar, but the Friar's reaction probably is more like, this is like blasphemy to have these two things in harmony.
Yes, as taught by Saint Bigodist.
I'll ask the Friar, lean into that a bit. So, is there any I find this how do I phrase it? Gauche, just a little undecorous, maybe. In your religion, do you have any groups that worship fairy?
Alex, what with the Friar?
I don't think not that you know of.
Okay, yeah. No.
I mean, it's like a core. It's like a core tenet.
Yeah. Well, yes. That's why I'm thinking if there's like a off thing that he might have
heresy.
Yeah, there is. No, it's like one of like the 10 Commandments type of deal. Is pretty much don't trust, or nothing from a fae can be like nothing good could come from interacting with fae. I think that's like might be what it like the core principle is.
And yet we here are in a place in which there's a clear intended harmony. That seems rather rebellious, don't you think?
Blasphemy.
And this is old, right? I mean, this is from hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. And
was that before the church really started running corruption deals and stuff? I mean, was there a time in the church's history where these things were more in sync?
Oh, I remember a
Churches
story.
Not corrupt.
It was beautiful once.
Well, the way that people apply their faith is maybe different from what the god or gods might intend. And I remember when we first came, that first couple of nights, there was a rumor of something, a fey creature, maybe an elf, that ruled here once. And there was worry that Cold Prince might be coming back, or at least his minions were to be seen. That was one thing we were worrying about. I'm sorry, Geoffrey, what did you say?
And the Naglord as well. I think there was a few fey creatures that we've been having to watch out for, and people have been speaking of.
So maybe
Naglord's not fey, right? Would I take offense to that? Or is he fey? Or if
He's fey.
I mean, to Geoffrey, it's got to be
nobody knows what the nature of the Naglord is.
Yeah, I'll say Naglord. That comes from the mortal realm, not from the Fae. That's your problem. That you've put onto us.
I was going to say I thought that was also your problem.
I think it's still up in the air. Maybe remains to be seen here.
And Thomas, just to get this out of the way, you wanted to listen to the other door. You wouldn't hear anything from the no door. Sorry, just the passageway. You don't hear anything from the northern passage.
The north. Okay.
This room seems almost as undefensible as the other for resting. We do notice there's marks of something dragged. Do we want to check that out and see if that room is more hospitable to a night's rest?
Perhaps. I have seen down here at the bottom of this, there's stairs that lead down here, but there's almost like a curtain of floating candles at the base of the stairs.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Great place for a rest.
Are they lit?
They are.
Yes.
Hmm. Well, in that case,
We will be
Silver.
able to see.
I'm beginning to think that maybe taking a rest in this location may not be wise.
How are
Mhm.
you feeling?
Well, I feel great. I think the Friar, unfortunately, had to expend himself. That's my main concern.
Yeah, we've got no more healing today.
Although it is
Friar.
already nighttime, isn't it?
It's
Or
like
the other way around.
7. It's like 7.
Yeah.
Friar
So,
will.
so the question is, do we want to check out? Do we want to continue up through this archway? Do we want to go down the stairs, check out the candles, or do we want to go to the other passage that was to the left? That it appears like maybe a statue or something was dragged from this plinth to.
I think it.
That'd be my vote.
That's Joffrey's vote as well.
I mean, it makes sense. That way, we have at least an idea of what we're choosing.
And I wonder, I mean, this mirror is. Don't look. It kind of drained me a bit even looking at it, but it seems, I don't know, magical in nature. I wonder if it was reflecting something, this statue or what was reflecting something onto the mirror.
I feel the same, brother.
All right.
I'll wink at myself. Looking good. As
Did
a
the
halo.
mirror just say that?
Little buddy Jesus.
Yeah.
So confirm from that. What was it that you guys wanted to do? You wanted to follow the grooves back to the.
Yeah, I think, and assuming that probably it was dragged through the entranceway and we didn't see it from the dust, and maybe try to clear some of the dust to see if we can follow it.
Okay. So I'm gonna mark another turn from just everything in the mirror room, and then you're coming back out here, and the grooves, they lead right into this muck. And so, describe to me how you're like mopping that up or cleaning that up or.
I mean,
it away.
at first, I would probably just do the old like try to use my boot to scrape and kick it away. If that doesn't work, I might just assume it's heading in a certain direction and see if the tracks pick up. And
Sure.
I don't want to get down on my hands and knees really, but
You're not trying to like do like a squeaky clean job. You're just like what's underneath the
No.
muck kind of. So you're scraping it away. You can
I have a
easily
spade as well. To,
use a spade to kind of clear it
Yes.
out, or maybe shovel some of it like to the sides of the room. And you can definitely see very clearly as you're just following the pattern of the scratches in the floor. The floor here is different. It's not just stonework. It's actually there's a mosaic underneath all this muck. And the scratch marks continue to kind of ruin that a little bit, like scratches through the center of it, and seems to lead up to these stairs.
we have seen the mosaics in the other room, which raised questions for us. The artwork in the other room. Are we interested in using our spades to take a view at what may be below this muck? And could it raise questions or answer those questions?
Well,
think we
if our
should.
what's our purpose here?
To find a ring with a moonstone so I can give it to my elven maiden.
Thomas,
Not
what's our
that.
purpose here? It's not that. It's not that, Joffrey. Our purpose
It
is to
is
get
that.
a rest.
It is that. That is the higher purpose. for us all.
You're gonna have to sit on him tonight.
Do we bring rope?
I think the last of mine was left behind.
I feel like we've used a lot of rope in this campaign.
I have rope.
I have rope as well. 50.
I'm distressed that we are chasing you and finding ourselves in this predicament, and we're happy to help, but I'm not mucking the floor tonight before we go to sleep.
Well, Lillibeth, let me make a pitch to you. Is that this place is clearly charmed or haunted, or hexed in some manner. We saw a creature with a pot on its head come out of it.
Yes.
So I think that the more we can learn about the circumstances, the better. And while I do share your distaste of muck, putting the ring consideration aside, I still think it'd be valuable for us to learn what this central chamber is about. Because if there is something in that mosaic that can give us a hint or a clue about what is happening here, that might help us down the road. Not get the ring, but to dispel whatever is going on.
As long as it will help us be safe. No, as long as it will help us to be safe. You need to take some sleep. You smell bad and you need to sleep.
I am standing on this side of the room on purpose, because if I were closer to you, I would have already slapped you. And he's gonna start using he'll use the shovel to try to get clear a little bit more off.
So you're helping to kind of clear off with the shovel. Geoffrey, you're kind of scooting things around with your boot and maybe your short sword and such. Anything special?
I have a shovel too.
Okay. Is everybody kind of contributing to that and whatever you got tools and stuff you're doing? We'll say that it takes like 10 minutes to do so. So you've been down here for 30 minutes or so. And as you're clearing the muck away, clearly you could see that this mosaic in the floor depicts a knight atop a white charger, sword in hand, and it's like an action scene. Like the sword is piercing through the body of an elf. And there's an inscription in Old Woldish that reads, "Here lies the noble Sir Chide, slayer of frost, defender of the king." And those of you, maybe Lillibeth, you said your background was being a scribe, and Thomas, you've got a certain skill for detecting the nuance of language and how things are written. Frost is capitalized and king is capitalized, as if those are not general references. Those are references to specific entities.
Maybe the Cold Prince's daddy.
What did it say? Here lies Sir Clyde or Sir Chide,
slayer of frost, defender of the king.
So the way that this is constructed, it's hard to know if Sir Chide or Frost is the defender of the king.
Is there a comma after Frost, or is there a period?
There's a comma.
Oh shit! God damn you, syntax!
That makes it harder. Is the elf? And I'm looking very clearly at the elf. You're just kind of like, maybe I should get out of here. But I'm looking at the elf, and is the elf woman, man? Can I tell any features about the elf?
I would
Young,
say
old.
I would say it's male, with a crown upon his head. You know, to you, you'd be familiar enough with the Frost King, that, or the Cold Prince. That this is at least an imagery of the Cold Prince being slain, but you know that that's not really the true history. Like the Cold Prince hasn't been slain or anything like that. But there was, you know, and I would say at this point, you just have you don't have specifics about history, but you know that the Dolmenwood, yes, was at one time the dominion of a fae known as the Cold Prince, and that. Kind of the precursor to the Duchy of Brackenwold when they came and moved into the area, they came into conflict, of course, with the Cold Prince, and there was a war between mortals and the Cold Prince, and so this depicts Sir Chide as maybe a central warrior or hero of that war, or of that fight, and maybe even died in battle. It just not. I don't know if you have that history yet. I don't think the Droon gave you like super specifics on it, but probably knowledge that you can extract from seeing this mosaic, as it seems that he was very much a leader during that conflict.
So I'll just kind of narrate a little bit of that and just contextualize. But yeah, with these mosaics and tapestries of old times, you have to contextualize them with secondary sources. I'm sure this is not literally that he slew the Cold Prince, but some sort of hero to you humans, I guess.
What I find most interesting is the opposition that both artworks seem to have. In this artwork, a representative of the one true God is slaying a representative of the Fae, whereas in the other artwork, they are coexisting, which I find strange.
Well, it's not strange if you're in love with one of them. Whichever them is the them.
I should also say, just to be clear, in case there's any confusion, like not all of us are, us fairy aren't one blob of people who all ascribe to the same philosophy. Like the Cold Prince he's an asshole. Like I'm not a fan of him.
Brother, have you ever heard of this thing with fairies not being all evil? What is this?
I mean, to be fair, we have a fairy among us who, though, likes to poke sometimes. I don't think he might be all evil.
He has saved our life, and that is why he is with us. He has appeared trustworthy, but
so far the evil we've met has mostly been human.
Mostly.
I just want to point out, look down. Look. You do not see some connection with yourself, brother, and this knight?
I mean, we are both incredibly handsome.
Does it look like Geoffrey?
We both wear very fine armor, and we both wield our swords with precision, it appears. So, yes, I do feel there is some connection, right?
Yeah, your sword is a little shorter than his, though.
Ah!
I'm gonna look at the mosaic and inspect it as carefully as I can to find an elf maiden on either side.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
The only similarity is that maybe we have both fallen for elves.
So we started out looking for tracks. Did the tracks cut across this mosaic?
Yes. Yep. They scrape against and kind of ruin the face of the mosaic. At least the entirety of its beauty. It's scratched. It would need to be restored or whatnot to bring it back fully. But it leads down. It leads to the stairs. Whatever that thing was has been removed or pulled up.
I suspected that maybe it was dragged over here, but no. Okay.
So those stairs are opposite. They're not the same stairs that were in the mirror room.
No, the stairs that you came down to get into the tomb. So the who knows? Who knows?
Robbers.
Yep.
Well, So we have one tomb here. It says the most dear. We haven't seen behind. We have another apparent potential homage to something that's no longer there, that's been dragged out. That includes some sort of curtain of candles as a, I don't know, votive. And then we're here in this place where at least now we have a clean floor, and we have one more place we still have to look.
and you
Kinda.
can hear
What-
hear the thunder outside, and you can hear like the rain, just like torrent of rain coming down.
Alex,
Well,
did you say there were things in the corners of these rooms, or are these
Yep.
just like little
They're,
doodles?
they're little
Moss
plinths,
covered things.
and there's like kind of moldy objects on each one.
Oh,
Just gonna
object.
Investigate.
I thought it was just a mold. Yeah.
So, even though they're mold covered, if you go up and you look at each of them, you'll see that they are.
Real quick before we go up on it, I have a ring that makes it so I can't smell when I put it on. So I'm just gonna put that on before I check out the moldy objects,
Sounds good.
and probably just to help with my own smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WFA
If
for-
only we all had that ring.
Hey,
Let's take
Alex,
turns.
We can
Alex,
take turns.
one other thing, the drag marks, are those old? Does it look like that thing was drug out of here a long time ago?
It has to be, because the drag marks were under all that filth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
you didn't see that
Pointless.
the filth had been disturbed. It was just underneath that.
It's long gone.
So, you're looking at these different objects, and up here on this one, you will find a holy symbol, the symbol of the oraculary, that is silver. Could be used as a holy symbol. This one over here is a wooden statue of a cherub, little naked baby. This one right here is a holy book of some kind, an old leathery tome that looks like it's quite ruined at this point. And then a 1 foot tall, like huge candle, like real thick red wax.
Has it been burnt at all?
It doesn't seem to be. You don't see like melted wax on the sides of it. It's just like sitting there, standing there. Big one.
Should we leave them be, or do we collect these objects?
Part of me is tempted to say move it to the plinth in front of the mirror. Maybe the mirror reveals something.
Which object? All?
Hmm.
One
But
at a
again,
time?
But part of me also says that if we touch them, we'll trigger some kind of a
Trap.
consequence.
Well, maybe they're connected to the door.
This is true.
Mhm. Maybe if we change the order or something.
There may be, if that is the case, in my past I have found that those who set traps also, for some reason, leave hints on how to, avoid those traps. Since there's lots of artwork and we still have one room to check out, maybe we should go look and see if there are hints in the other room.
Or at least a dry room with no entrances or exits other than the one we came into.
They probably leave those hints for themselves. You ever do something and you forget what you did?
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're leaving themselves a back door. If I lose my notes on this one, I'll sign it over here and put an arrow to the entrance.
Right, you ever had a code and you couldn't remember the code, so you write it down on a piece of paper?
I can't even remember what I did yesterday, so.
I always give myself a hint.
Alex, I do need to use the restroom. I will be right back.
Okay, sounds good. Do you all need a little break here?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay,
Sure.
let's do a short break. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us here today. We'll be back in just 5 or so minutes. So be right back. Bring us on.
So Lillibeth recovered from Geoffrey's stench and took a little bit of time to look at her notes. And I do recall we were told that the Droon said that his daughter was being beguiled, and that there was a human knight buried and had been in love with the elf king's or the elf prince's daughter.
The Cold Prince.
Well, he didn't say Cold Prince.
Said elf prince.
He said elf prince.
And am I right in assuming, because I was trying to like read between the lines and some of the stuff, but not spoil too much, but the Cold Prince is just like a elf guy, right? Because there's like frost elves and there's all kinds of elves. Like, am I right in saying that elves are not, like elves weren't all under the one prince, right? Or was it? Or were we?
No, I mean, like,
No.
there are probably hundreds of fairy kingdoms like that. It's just
Okay.
that his was very much tied up in the history of Dolmenwood, because he actually came and was trying to dominate this area.
That's what I thought, just make sure.
But he does have his distinct fairy kingdom that he presides over. That is his realm.
Right. Now
He's just no longer in Dolmenwood.
Right, but the Cold Prince is an elf.
Correct.
That is true. Yes.
And
So the
frost elf being like a type or a variety, like not exactly like silver.
Right. And Sir Chide was in love with the elf prince, which could very well be the Cold Prince as well. Now, if
The
there
daughter.
The daughter of them.
was correct, which then they were
Could be the
forbidden
prince.
to be together or whatever. But we've got this barrow dedicated to Sir Chide, but it also has fairy decorations, or whatever you've got. So and with this pot head, this barrow bogey,
I prefer
pothead. The him coming out of here, they're being undead, but they're also connected to like places where there is a portal or a something to the land of fairy. I mean, is it? I mean, I guess, is this possibility that the daughter is still in love and has actually, like, if they were kicked out, I mean, you would think that if the humans were against them and wanting to get them the hell out, why would there be a connection to the land of fairy here in this tomb? Unless it was done, maybe a lot of the things that we are being told are not maybe necessarily 100% true.
I think you're right. Are you suggesting maybe that what's been plaguing Sir Geoffrey is earnest confusion, longing, and not a trick?
Oh, no, I
Perhaps.
think it's a trick.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be a trick, or it could be. I mean, it could be a little bit of both, but there seems to be a connection, and maybe the connection is through the daughter of the Cold Prince here, where if she too loved this Sir Chide, it is possible that she has created a means in which to come here and
Reanimate him? Mourn
maybe
him?
not. Well, lament him. I mean, still like cherish him. That there's perhaps some connection there as well, and it may even be unbeknownst to her father.
Joffrey.
This is Joffrey's kind of first time being cued in all this, because it kind of was a quick reunion.
Right.
He hasn't been privy to all this backstory, and he's sort of floored, and he's probably being really quiet, because I think in his mind he is now convinced that his maiden is the same maiden as Sir Chide's, and that she's calling to him. And I think he's under the impression probably that she's here and she wants him to recover this ring.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's part of it that it's like, that it is, like he kind of said before, like everybody's talking about this other thing, but to him, like, this is even more convincing him that this is the quest. And he'll share that with the party. She's calling to me. There's no coincidence. Thomas is correct. She is the connection, and she's calling to me, and I have to help her.
Now, let me ask you this, Silver. It is common in the mortal realms that when two are betrothed to one another, that rings are given as a sign of eternity and love and such like that. Is that something that happens in the world of fairy as well? I mean, could this elf maiden be seeking the ring that was taken from her that was a symbol of her love for Sir Chide?
Alex, is there any tradition? Otherwise, I'll just make something up. Very possible, Thomas.
Sorry, I'm trying to hit this mute button as much as possible. I'm sorry. The question was,
do we give rings in fairy to symbolize love for marriage, the way that mortals do?
Could
this ring be a wedding ring or an engagement ring?
Could be.
Promise ring.
It's possible. Geoffrey, could you describe your maiden for me? Her features, and then obviously, I'm assuming no horns like me, but other characteristics.
Yes, and he'll probably describe like a just unearthly, possibly impossible like standard of beauty. Glowing skin. I've never considered in my life an elf beautiful or considered blah blah blah, but it's like her beauty and her
I'll try to take you off. And as
oh my god, and just hair of silver flowing, strands of gold, and yeah, I'm like going poetic here.
I'll step you off the poet and be like hair color, eye color, skin color, height, weight, like trying to get her like a accurate description as best as possible as you're like going poetic. So blonde, silver hair.
Yes, hair of silver and the eyes of the deepest brown and blah blah. Whatever it is.
Is he describing a frost elf as I would understand them?
I suppose.
Okay.
Is there a significance in the land of fairy to a moonstone? I mean, it's a store.
Was that the right term, Alex? I'm going off memory. I'm trying to find the message. What is it?
Yeah. So pretty much everything you said about her beauty and everything is accurate. Blue eyes, but the ring, I'm gonna say, moonstone, bronze band, like you guys don't know.
Okay.
Well, and with it being a ring of bronze and fairy, I mean, it's common here to give rings of silver
and iron.
Right. So this would seem that. So this ring being of bronze seems like it would be a ring for a fairy as opposed to a mortal.
I think you may be right.
Thomas,
go ahead.
You are just incredible.
Stop fitting into his theories.
Yeah, right.
So we should definitely get this ring.
That's what I've been saying all along. That is the quest. That is why we are here. I have no doubt.
Oh.
Lillibeth is so annoyed right now.
All of you. We came here to get some rest.
That is true. That is true. But there's a puzzle before us, Lillibeth, and I am drawn to puzzles and such. I apologize.
Puzzles. Sorry.
We do need to find a secure place to make camp, though. I see your reason with this.
Well, then maybe we go into that next room.
I think so.
Next room being the one to the left there. Okay.
Yes.
So
On the way in the room, Geoffrey's gonna kind of like nudge Thomas and be like, "I want to hear your theories, sir. I like the cut of your jib."
So I'm advancing time another turn, another 10 minutes. So 5 turns, 50 minutes in the tomb so far. You make your way over into this next area, and what you see is very similar to the other circular chamber that you'd been in, except that in this room there is something on the plinth in the corner. A fair maiden statue made of white marble, long flowing hair, robe, and upon her brow is a star kind of depicted. And the statue is posed facing another staircase that leads down and is pointing at it. And someone has, upon the statue, like literally a black cloth, it is fabric, has been tied and wrapped around her eyes and sort of fashioned in a blindfold. And then you could see, again, another archway of tree branches and berries and vines kind of creates that, is molded into the stonework of the archway that leads down, the stairs that lead down. And then there's another passageway to the north.
The statue, you said it's a beautiful maiden. Is it an elf maiden? Is it a human maiden? Does it look like my woman?
You're forever, girl.
It is an elven maiden. I will say there's a resemblance, but it might not be like perfect. But
Okay, so that was going to be my standard. If it was a perfect replica, I was going to tear the thing away from the eyes and have to see her eyes. But since it's not exact, Geoffrey will not do that.
I'm gonna peep down the stairway. Do we see the same candles, or are they? Or
Yes.
Is it different?
Yep, it's pretty
Okay.
much the same as the other. There's a curtain of floating candles at the base.
This
Why
is
would
not much more defensible than our last room.
Why would someone cover the statue's eyes?
Maybe. Oh gosh.
So she couldn't see.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a smart man. I don't know history, but my first inclination is like something where, you know, she turns you to stone if she looks at you, so they covered her eyes.
That was my thought too, Geoffrey. We're in agreement.
I'm of a
I'm a-
different mindset. Perhaps there was a statue as this in the other room that was drug out, and the blindfold is over her eyes so that the statue cannot see itself in that mirror in the other room. If we were
To what end? To what end? What reason would you want the statue not to see itself in the mirror? So it could not turn itself to stone?
Well,
What if we turn it to face the mirror?
Wait.
So just to be clear,
well-
there's no mirror in this room.
Right.
But
Son of a gun.
We'd have to drag it to the other room. Try not to look in the mirror. So this is what you're proposing. You're proposing we drag it to the other room. We try not to look in the mirror, and we face it to turn in the mirror, and then we pull the blindfold off.
It would be
Oh,
easier
that-
just to bring the mirror over here.
that is possible. Or do we not have some
What do we think
substance?
is? What do we
Do we-
think is going to happen? Is what I'm getting at. Like cool idea. I like the idea. I'm like to see what happens. But like what?
We do have some substance that seems to make things lighter, no?
Ooh.
We're gonna immediately use it. That'd be so perfect.
Okay. Lillibeth is just putting out a bedroll.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Sleep. We need
And
rest.
saying, I think this is defensible. If somebody wants to go downstairs, we can take a look. There's no weird mirror. We've got 3 doorways. We can take turns.
I will look down the stairs. Is there the floating candles at the base of these stairs as well?
Yes.
The garden?
It's exactly the same
Maybe
as
the
the
same
other.
room. Maybe the same room. Man, Geoffrey is like caught up on this statue thing. He's like, wait, but if it turns you to stone and then it looks at itself in the mirror, maybe it'll turn it back into a maiden.
Brother. It's been a
But
long
no,
day.
Thomas is onto something. This is not conspiracy.
Brother. Now you're giving me a headache too. Lower your voice, please. Relax. We need to find a place to rest.
All right, maybe you're right. Maybe she will speak to me in the night tonight. You're right. Let's rest.
Oh no.
All right.
Tie a rope around his leg.
So the group is going to make camp in this room.
It's as good a place as any, I think.
All right.
So just to be clear,
I mean, there's
Or
passages
bad
that
as
go
place
up.
as any.
so the primary benefit of getting a camp, and really the only benefit, is that the friar gets a spell back.
Yes.
Right.
So I just want us to be considerate about that, because I think it's a good idea. We feel like we'll be safe, but if we're not going to be safe, we might incur more
Danger.
than we get out of it. Yeah.
Maybe
In
we look.
character, I'm just frustrated.
No,
Maybe we
and-
take a look forward just to see what are in these other rooms before we.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as we see some pews. Maybe like this might have been a church. This might be more defensible area. Also, might be full of ghosts.
Joffrey, you guys are gonna have to stop Joffrey from. Well, I guess Thomas, you're carrying the vial, right, of the floaty stuff. I'm gonna nudge you and be like, Thomas, let's throw the floaty stuff under this statue and bring it over to the mirror. What do you think? Come on.
I'm curious about it as well. Yes, but
Let's do it. Brother, what do you think? Come on.
I don't know that this is the time.
Just daggers. Just daggers. Stone face. Friar's a very jovial man, but he doesn't seem to be very happy with you right now.
All right.
You get that older brother look that you normally don't get. That normally you're
and I'm probably, as soon as I get it, it's almost gonna be like instinctive because it's the same look Mom gave me, and I'm just gonna shut up.
All right. In an effort to push us forward here, what is the course of action you want to pursue?
I would like to go up and check out this area here.
Okay. So the
See if
group,
it's better, slightly better for resting.
group is heading up into this area.
Yes, I'm picking up my bedroll and putting it away so I don't leave it down here.
All right. So you move up into what does appear to be some kind of an old, very old chapel. It is decaying. All of the pews are just literally broken down, moldy, and decrepit. You can see that at the northern end of this chapel, there is still an altar there that has upon it a statue of a crusader-looking figure. And this crusader is, armed in plate mail, longer hair, and holding a dried wax red candle. This one does appear that it has been lit at some point because you can see the wax has dripped down the side of it and is pooled kind of on the surface of the stone altar. There's a velvet cloth that has... Sorry, I guess the wax is collecting on this tapestry that's... or this cloth that's covering the altar. And you can see a very, very faded image of a more antiquated version of the oraculary on the cloth. And
2 candles.
Behind that on the wall here is a tapestry that depicts 2 knights meeting in front of this like archway in the clouds, and there's just kind of like beaming light, kind of like very, very celestial, very kind of afterlife. Like the friar would be able to see the symbology of this being like the one true God's vision of like heaven or the afterlife.
Mm-hmm. Are the knights detailed or are they just generic?
One of the knights looks like the figure that was depicted in the mosaic, and the other looks like the statue that's on the altar holding the candle. They are distinct.
That was going to be my question. So it's sort of the assumption is that one is Sir Chide, right? Chide.
One of them is Sir Chide, and the other, and the friar would know this, is Saint Sedge.
Saint Sedge.
Saint Sedge is the
Let's see. Scroll down.
saint of knife makers and
Let me see.
and
Say a
kind of a
prayer.
heroics.
Does this count as an altar?
I think the friar would say, well, though it is in disrepair, I feel safest. I feel safe here. Maybe can I just take a look around, see if anything is, I don't know, in any way like nefarious as far as like, I'm just looking to see like just the symbolism. Everything seems like it's still like there's not like, I might move up closer to the altar. How about that?
Okay. And thank you for the follow, Mentat Muse. We appreciate you being here with us this morning. I'm not exactly sure what you were getting at there, but as you're looking around this chapel, I don't know if maybe what you're getting at is like is there a
just making
fusion
sure
of fairy and? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not. First, I'm making sure that it's not like desecrated. First off, right? It's been here for a while.
Yeah, it's not really a sense of desecration. It's more just old is the feeling.
Okay. And then second off, I would be looking for symbolism. Anything else that I would see?
No, this feels very much more traditional. Like there is no fairy kind of motifs on the tapestry or anything with the altar. Like it feels more traditional Church of the One True God in here. And then I probably didn't mention, there's 2 doors here, stone doors. One to the west and one to the north.
Are they sarcophagus style, like no handles?
No, they are not.
So we wouldn't have to like pry them open.
These ones have handles, more traditional, just stone door.
You might as well check them.
Geoffrey flips a coin.
Two-Face.
I do find it somewhat odd that you have a barrow for the burial of somebody to house such places of worship and things of that nature. Most often the burial places don't have all of this. So I do find this strange and unique.
Well, if he was a hero.
Or a king. Yeah,
Yes.
right?
Let me make one correction. This door here is wooden. And it appears very swollen with, all the moisture and such. Like, it probably hasn't been opened in some time.
And if anybody is interested, the coin flip decided that door.
Okay.
Okay.
I think before you step forward, the friar being near the altar and seeing Saint Sedge there would first give a quick prayer here, asking for Saint Sedge to help us against specters, as he would talk about how he used to be. He prayed to the one true God and defeated a spectral knight after his master was slain. He was just a page of the knight. So his knight was killed. He prayed to the one true God and stood up against like the undead. So he would ask for protection for us all and protection of this place before we move forward.
In terms of anything like actually manifesting, you do not feel that.
Okay. Yeah.
And in fact, there maybe is a little bit of a feeling of disconnection.
Okay.
You don't know what to make of that. It's just like a lingering feeling of your prayer or whatnot not being received by the...
Just like a pane of glass in between the connections somehow. Just not...
One-way radio.
Yeah. Hello, is this thing on? No. Do you read me?
Friar, is there anything that you know of these? I mean, are red candles something that tends to be something that's done?
Would the Friar know anything other than like?
It has a little bit of a ceremonial, I guess, element to it in that it's kind of like a warding type of candle, like the kind of thing that you would use when you intern the dead, just to like keep out the bad spirits or the evil mojo or whatever. A red candle might be the kind of thing that you would put at the foot of a gravestone, or that kind of thing.
The Friar would talk about maybe just quickly about maybe the different colors, how you'd use them for different seasons to celebrate certain things, but then would eventually say, yes, red candles are there to ward.
And if I didn't, I don't think I described it. Those candles at the base of the stairs, those are all red candles.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Is anybody opposed to me opening this wooden door?
Go for it.
So you go over there to attempt to do that. It is locked, and it is definitely like swollen to the point that even if you did unlock it, it would probably be tough to like. You'd have to probably like bash this thing in order to get through.
Geoffrey kind of looks at his brother and says, all right, I know everybody's annoyed at me, and I'm not the one to make the decisions, but can I break the door, brother? Can I bash in the door?
And we're going to welcome in some raiders here. Welcome in Trollord Games, coming in with 50 people. Holy smokes.
Oh!
Damn!
Morning.
Welcome!
Good morning.
Huzzah!
Fill up the lower level of the barrow.
We appreciate you so much. Thanks for joining us here, Trollord Games. Give them a follow if you can.
Trollord Game.
Probably playing some Castles and Crusades would be my assumption. So you go check out that channel just to see all of the they got old school style content that they're running too. So check them out. And yes, hey Chuck, good to see you. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. And so we are in the midst of our adventure. We're playing Old School Essentials, and group is in a burial mound, a tomb dedicated to a knight that they have learned had a tryst with a elven maiden, something that is forbidden by both the Fae and the Church of the One True God that the knight is a part of. And so thank you, Command Hillpod, for the follow. Appreciate that. So,
yeah, getting back to that, you would see a bit of confusion on your brother's face after he prayed, but he would probably nod and say, if you need to open it, I guess you could break it down.
So yeah, Geoffrey's going to take his mace. He's going to like kind of wield it with two hands as best he can, just start bashing at the door.
All right. Roll me a d6.
He's going to say, knock, knock, coming in. 5.
5. Okay, you're bashing and bashing. You're making like lot of noise trying to like get this thing unstuck. And real quick, thank you for the follow, Pat66, and thanks for the follow. I should probably have Abu pronounce this one. Obaba Banana. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you, Abu.
Obaba Banana. Yeah. So you're bashing and bashing at this door, and it is not coming down. You can continue to attempt to do this, but it's just.
I'm going to, yeah. He's going to do it until he.
May I will assist you if you wish.
Make another D6 roll, and we're advanced time. One turn here.
Thomas, can you pick locks?
I cannot.
That was a 4 I rolled.
A 4. Okay. Thank you
I
for the
could pick
follow,
your
Tomcat Dad.
I could pick your pocket, but not that lock.
I can pick your pocket, but I can't pick that locket.
All right. Sir Geoffrey, roll me a D4.
D4.
Uh-oh, here we go.
That would be a 2.
2.
That's good.
Okay, we're inside. That's good that we're inside. Okay. You can
What's
hear
good?
kind of
What did I do?
echoing through. Well, it's good that, yeah, you didn't hit a different thing that a 2 could have been. So you hear the sound kind of echoing through the halls of the tomb, just oh, woof, oh, 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 oh. Just this baying of these like kind of dog sound.
Is the
multiple?
door down, and is it coming from that direction, or is the door not down and it's on our side of the door?
It's coming from like kind of echoing through the open halls like behind you and such. Maybe even from behind this door.
You said so all around though?
All around. Almost
All right, I'm gonna post up here.
almost phantasmal kind of sound.
Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Alex, did you say from behind this door?
Yeah. The door that you're not trying to break down.
Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I meant to.
I will move in that direction and pull out my have my silver longsword and dagger.
Yeah, I'll move.
Ready?
I'll
And-
move here.
Begins to quiet down as you're getting ready for something to happen, but it subsides.
The door is still up, right?
Door is still up.
I'm gonna hit it again.
All right, D6.
A 3.
What's your strength modifier? 1.
My strength modifier is a 1.
Okay.
Yes.
You do not bust down this door. So like 30 minutes have passed.
Do we hear the
30
howling again?
No, you don't. But you've been doing this in a half hour. You have not successfully
Oh my
bust down
God.
this door.
All right, so I'm not gonna break the door down. Guys, I don't think I have it in me.
Do we have a crowbar or anything? Like a tool? An axe?
Win the card, probably.
Yeah,
Should we just go to sleep here?
I think so. If that door can't be broken by us, then surely it can't be broken by anything on the other
Yes.
side.
All right.
And anything that can open the door with any kind of
Is-
magic.
Is there a
Gonna
lock?
do it
Do
anyway.
we see the lock? Do we see the lock on the door? Is it like a padlock type thing on? And
No, it's like door handle
That's the
lock
mechanism.
is inside
Yeah.
the door. Yeah.
Mhm.
gotcha.
So the problem really
makes me
probably
nervous.
isn't that it's locked. It's that the door
It's
is
swollen.
stuck and swollen. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the lock might just help lower the DC or something, but because it can't be. It doesn't. I'm sure it's not the reason, but I'm sure it doesn't help having a piece of metal stuck in.
This is a very strong door. I am a very strong man.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
I'm sure the elf maiden is impressed.
and I would say that. I mean, if we were to stay here under the watchful eye of Saint Sedge,
Probably safest.
nothing is probably coming through this door that you couldn't get through from this side. So perhaps just keep a watchful eye on the door to the north and the hallway to the south, and rest for the evening.
So
Hmm.
you're getting ready to kind of lay out maybe some bedrolls and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
So you maybe get like 10 minutes into your routine of like trying to like lay down some bedrolls and such. And there are there's a very jarring, macabre scene that's kind of like making its way into the chamber here, as you see two skeletons hand in hand, kind of almost ballroom dancing, and they're floating maybe like 2 feet off the ground, and they're dancing to maybe music that you cannot hear. They're just kind of very gracefully moving in, and they dance into the room, and they say, "What is all this racket that is happening in here? All this pounding, this yelling."
We're looking for a ring, yay big, a bronze moonstone. Have you seen it about?
No. We do not concern ourselves with the material possessions. We concern ourselves only with the dance. Please, join us.
Well,
grab
that's what the
Lillibeth.
racket is about. We're trying to get this ring. We think it might be behind this door, so, but, you know, don't let us stop your dance, I guess.
There is nothing to see beyond that door. There, come, join us. Join the
again,
dance.
I'll grab Lillibeth and I'll snap to Thomas to get some music going.
Yeah, I pull out the flute and begin playing music that we can hear, and I will time it to like their steps. I'll try and coordinate it.
He has like a waltz or something.
Correct.
We're gonna
So
go
wait,
outside.
are you two dancing?
I'm trying to
Apparently.
get Lillibeth to dance with me.
All right, I'll grab the friar then. I'll grab my brother.
I'll go into my fray.
And so
Off we go.
I love though that the fact that like if this would have happened any time other than what we've already been through with the undead, this would be very like different.
Yeah.
We've talked to butlers, like it's like, oh
Yeah,
okay,
It's
hey.
not-
Skeletons are
Yeah.
least of our problems.
so
I'm like, thank God, skeleton came out.
So, Thomas, you begin to play some music, and everyone's dancing, and you're observing these two skeletons, and you can see that they're coated in a little bit of that slime as they're dancing, and both of them have some piece of jewelry on. One of them is wearing a pearl necklace, and the other a gold medallion that hangs around, like, the spine, or whatever, just, like, kind of resting on the rib cage, or the chest part. And they're dancing, and they say, "Yes, yes, oh, this brings us back to times long ago. This music is beautiful, sir. Thank you."
And they are unclothed, right? They don't have on like tattered clothing of any kind or
Nope.
anything.
Nope, the only thing that they are wearing are those two decorative pieces that have not disintegrated over time.
I think at this point maybe the friar would wait for the symbol to change partners and the dance.
Ah.
He's like, "Stop it.
Ah.
First off, I should be the one leading. And then he
But what do you want the ring? I know I smell, brother.
and I think I might I think I might I'll hold out my hand to one of the undead.
Oh, very cool.
And they both kind of look at each other, and you can see the one that maybe, gender roles being a part of this. Maybe it's the male that is like bequeathing unto you the other to change places. And then that one kind of like stands aside while you start dancing with this skeleton.
All right. So, hello. So tell me more about times past.
And this one, she starts to tell you a bit about their time in lavish courts, and she's telling you about the early days of Brackenwold when, it was a time of discovery. It was a time of opportunity, and we seized upon that, and we had many. And they're telling you about kind of setting up there that they were bequeathed some amount of land and property by the king of Brackenwold, they say, which is a distinction from the title of Duke, which is now used. And so they're painting you a picture of kind of these noble pioneers that came along with this, with the expatriates of Brackenwold that came to this region and made it their home and settled. So you're getting the sense that they're from the original humans that came to Dolmenwood. And they tell you of their family, and they at some point say they're so proud of their eldest child, Chide, who is in the service to a knight and will one day become inherit their lands and their titles.
Hide. Oh. You must be very proud.
Yes, of course, we are very, very proud of him. He's growing up fast, but he's got, and the woman is saying he's got his grandfather's spirit, his sense of right and wrong, his sense of duty, and he's very passionate young man. He will rule our dominion justly.
Hearing this, I will use my glamour to wash away my elven characteristics subtly, just out of eye shot.
I might first off, I will admit the Friar is a really good dancer. He is pretty solid in dancing. But secondly, they're doing the Pulp Fiction moves. No, I think he would continue asking about. I would say, are there any threats that you feel? Are there any threats you would think he might come onto as a leader of this land?
No, he. Of course, there are many things in the woods we do not know about yet, but as he grows up, I am sure that he will be prepared for dealing with those things. Please, let us not speak of these things. Let's continue this dance.
And I will continue dancing until, and I would eventually kind of bow and hand her over to the next partner.
And at this point, the two of them return, and it seems like they kind of forget that you're there, and they dance out of the room.
Oh, rats. Okay. Before they go, I will say, excuse me, I just wanted to say, it's customary to tip the musician, and I will pull out some gold and hand it over to Thomas. Excellent, bravo.
So I mean, they completely ignore you. They go down the hallway.
I want that gold.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
I do pocket the gold that Silver handed me.
Ooh, XP, right? That's how we could do it.
That's right.
I'm removing 2 gold. You have 2 gold now.
You found the design flaw.
Just hand it back and forth.
So the group is going to continue to try to rest down here?
Yeah, I think so.
It is about that time too, right? In the day.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably about 9 o'clock at night. So.
Yeah, about 8, I think.
What's our plan for light? Do we want to go out, turn the light out? Do we want to set a little fire out of these pews?
Oh, no. If I know, where would the smoke go?
True.
We could light that candle.
Could
We
do that.
Might
It'd give us a little bit
Actually-
at least.
be some. Maybe that might be. Well, good. I have this weird feeling in this place. Maybe lighting a candle might be the best.
All right. So you're gonna light a candle, and that's gonna be kind of your light throughout the evening.
Yeah, the candle that's on the hand.
Okay. So it gives off like a very faint kind of glow. You know, maybe like 5 feet. Be generous about bright light in that little bubble, and then it's just very dim around the chamber. And I think we will end it with I'll deduct a ration for eating.
Okay.
Spend some time just laying out your bedrolls and everything like that. And at some point in the evening, there are going to be more of those worms are going to bust through the walls and descend upon your group, and we'll open up the next session with that combat.
All right. Yay.
Holy
So-
Pachi Mama.
Yeah.
Yipes.
I mean, you know what's on the other side of that stuck door, right?
Is it worms?
Think about where the tunnel.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang it.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
so, we will close things out here with a bit of gratitude. At the end of each of our Dolmenwood games, what we do is we have everybody kind of go around and suggest something that to another player, someone around the table that made the session a fun one or memorable or something you appreciated.
I'll throw out there to Sir Geoffrey for maintaining his insanity well, and to Moreen Lillibeth attempting to keep us on track.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And notice I said attempt to keep.
Look, we only ended up having one dance party with skeletons.
Right.
Like it's. I'll say Issac. 2 reasons. You know, obviously one for once again healing me. I really do. Jokingly, I really do. Non-joking, I mean, I really do appreciate. Some reason I tend to get hurt a lot, and you tend to heal me and save me. So I had 1 hit point left for mechanics.
That's my
in case anyone
job.
was
That's all I
curious.
could do. That's my character.
So I feel good now, and also just in general for Isaac, just always role playing out the spiritual aspect of your character. I think that's really interesting. And I'll tell you, I was thinking about it. I was actually super hyped to see the mirror because I was like, this is interesting seeing the religion stuff, and I realized that's because your character brings a lot of religion to the story, and so I'm actually into the lore of what's going on because of that. So just again, additional role play gratitude.
I mean, I would say. Sorry, I apologize. If you want to go first, you can.
I think that was the cat in the background, honestly.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Thank you. Thank you, Isaac. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for Dave for that wandering encounter. That first off.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Dave, come back for the next one. I'll double up the worms if you want.
Oh boy. The gift that keeps on giving. But also, yeah, I would say I think for this session I really enjoyed Ryan just being Ryan and your character, but Ryan himself just allowing himself his character just to be like a buffoon. Like it was great. Like it was very enjoyable to see to have my character's brother back and just like living up to his name of everything he called you last session. So And it was very interesting. It was a bit. I want to thank Lillibeth as well for kind of being a bit of the kind of wet blanket. Normally, the Friar is the one playing that role, so it was nice to kind of just take a step back from that worrywart role. And I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to throw my gratitude out to Moreen because, yeah, I loved we were even talking on our break. I loved our characters' dynamic, you know? And I think what really even added to that was, you know, I'd listened to the prior session, and kind of my second gratitude is going out to Issac because he really played up that, like, everybody getting really annoyed with Geoffrey thing, and kind of with his prayer to the gods where he's like, help my idiot brother, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it really kind of helped direct where I was going to take my character this session. And it seems like everybody liked that. So it wasn't me. It was where the story and where you guys took it. And that's the beauty of this game and the way that we've all been playing. So that's like my third gratitude is just to this game and to everyone and to Alex, because it really sort of plays itself out. I give myself up to the character, and I think we all have in this game. So it's awesome.
I would have to give my gratitude to you too, Ryan, because you came in and played wonderfully the idiot brother to the hilt, dragged us into situations that we needed to be dragged into. And for me, in terms of character, we are so alike at our root that it's always irritating to see somebody else do all the things you're not letting yourself do. So that really helped a little bit. Be really, really, really irritated and annoyed with you, and starting to become annoyed with the men in the party, which I think is going to play out a little bit too. So hang on, guys. It's a lot of testosterone out there. Anyway, but in a good way. But no, and then as always, our viewers, the people who come in and who nudge us and ask questions and really help us to embellish and build on what we are already doing. So I really appreciate that. And then Dolmenwood itself. I mean, it's just awesome to play this game. It really is.
Well, thanks to you all for being here, players. Those of you, yeah, like Moreen just said, those of you that come along on this journey. Thanks for the raid Trollord Games and all the people that came over for that. If you're not very familiar with us, we do have a Discord server that you could join. We're I would say we're primarily a gaming community. We just stream the games that we play, and so we do run a community campaign that's an open campaign. It's a 5e game set in Greyhawk. We've got a number of GMs that are kind of independently running sessions, but you can transfer your characters, can play in kind of all the games if you wanted to. So it's got a little bit of that Grey Marches style, I guess. So jump in our Discord, introduce yourself, and we'd be happy to get you kind of connected with how do you join that game. I think Casey's running a game tomorrow morning, so there will be an example of what one of the community games looks like tomorrow.
He said there was one spot open. I don't know if it still is, but he said that there was one spot open.
Awesome. So yeah, you can play tomorrow if you want to. So join the Discord. We've got probably a bunch of stuff going on next week, but probably the one that I would highlight would be Winston. You want to talk a little bit about what's happening on Monday?
Yeah, so Monday is our finale for Spelljammer. So, which is funny. You triggered this memory. I had a nightmare that for some reason took us like 12 more sessions, which sounds like a nightmare, but it was like, that's not like, I love playing the campaign when it was like, how did I tell them it was the finale? And it really wasn't, but it really is the finale. We have the finale coming up on Monday for the Spelljammer. We're playing the Light of Zaraxis campaign, and I'm very curious to see how the party decides to resolve the problem, assuming that they don't get a TPK. So,
well, very awesome. Thanks everyone for being here. We're gonna call it a day, and we'll be back in 2 weeks from now. on the 6th of May. We'll throw a raid out to... Let's go see the Jarl of Goats. Because Arthur's playing some kind of barnyard songs. I don't know if what the Jarl of Goats is a reference to, but we'll go and say hi to them.
Awesome.
They've raided us before, so we'll go see them. All right, thanks everybody. We will see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.